Heart at the Hazbin Hotel, Chapter 10. So we're going to do a tiny time skip here. Some stuff going on. I'll explain everything. Also, I know the one part would never happen, but I threw it in because I'm just a huge fangirl. So, any of you, I don't want to give it away, so I guess you'll just have to read to find out. So, let's start this. Chapter 10. A year in the hotel. 4 months went by so fast. It was like a flash. My days were always amazing. I helped Charlie out the best I could. Baggy seemed to be coming around more, especially warming up to Alistair a little bit. Nifty always was trying to look out for me and help me out when I needed it. Angel was still, Angel, and Husk was still a drunk asshole. I had amazing friends, even if some didn't really want to say they were. I was happy here. For once in my life, in this rotting hole that's called hell, I was happy. I was enjoying myself. Lizzie kept her promise and did come to visit me at the hotel now and then. It's probably the closest my sister and I have ever been since she arrived down here as well. I still couldn't convince her to stay at the hotel, but she was stubborn. To be honest though, I wouldn't want her to now. I need her here with me as well. I loved my sister. We played games, laughed, and talked like we used to. I missed her. I missed having my real sister. We got along so well when we were alive. She was annoying now and then, but what sibling isn't? I still wanted to look out for her. She looked out for me too. Alistair seemed to warm up to her as well, but still was cautious when she was around. Everything was amazing. I couldn't ask for anything better. The extermination happened as well during this time. I've been through them a couple times. I made sure to lock myself away in my home, keep hidden, stay quiet. Make sure Lizzie was safe as well. I remember the screams, though, as they echoed through the city. I would hold my ears through it all. I couldn't take the screams. This day, though, I was safe. I stayed in Alice's room that day, wrapped up beside him under the covers. He told me he would protect me if any angels came. I knew I would be okay. I knew everyone was safe in the hotel. Lizzie was too. I helped her board up the house that day before it happened. Made sure she was in her normal hiding spot. When it was over, I finally looked outside and sighed in relief. Charlie took it hard still, though. The poor girl. She didn't want this to keep happening. It still broke her heart. I watched her cry the next morning for a good bit. I stayed with her, though, and made sure to comfort her the best I could. With the extermination out of the way, it would be a whole year before it came again. At least I knew I would always be safe from it all. I woke up today, jumping out of bed almost. I stretched a little and then went to take a shower. Today was the day I came to the hotel a year ago. A year? Man, it seemed like only yesterday I arrived here. Of course, I came in with different intentions than I do now. My purpose from before was to reform myself, go to heaven, happily ever after, right? Well, not anymore. My purpose was to help Charlie run the hotel as best I could, keep people happy, help them make their rehabilitation, clean what was needed, and make sure everyone stayed out of trouble. Then my other purpose for staying here, why would anyone want to stay in hell? Well, I found my main reason. Alistair. Yes, the radio demon overlord still had my heart and held it close. I knew I had a hold on him as well. I remember walking back to the hotel one night from one of our dates, and Alistair basically ripped another dinosaur-looking demon apart for looking at me and slapping my ass as we walked by him. It was gruesome. I wasn't that big on that stuff, but I will admit that I did enjoy seeing it when I knew Alistair did it for a reason. No touching. That was his job. I was his. It made me smile when he would protect me from demons. Maybe he was just rubbing off on me. I would never get enough of it, though. I got out of the shower and managed to get dressed. I made sure my stuff was in my pockets before heading to the door. When I opened it, though, I saw Alistair standing there already. He made me jump in surprise. Ow! I hate when you do that. You're going to kill me one of these days, I told him, holding my beating heart, hoping it would slow down. All Alistair did was chuckle. My darling, you should know by now that you should always expect me anywhere at any time, he reminded me with a smirk. I groaned. Yeah, I know. Alistair laughed and then took my hand and laid a kiss on top of it. How are you this morning, my little wolf? He asked. Excellent, I answered right away. Alistair took a step closer to me. Oh, and why might that be? He wrapped an arm around me. Al, I told you. I wrapped my arms around him. It's been a whole year since I came to the hotel. Alistair was surprised. A year? Time flies when you're having fun. He gave a small growl at the last part. I laughed. I agree. I will say, though, the year has gone by has definitely been the most interesting. I looked up at him lovingly. He looked down at me with a big smile. Interesting, you say? How so? Does falling for a crazy, psychopathic, deer demon overlord count? I chuckled. That's a very interesting indeed. He put a face closer to mine. Do you think this crazy deer demon has fallen for you too? I hope so, I said, sounding hopefully playing along. Oh, believe me, my dear, he certainly does. Alistair leaned down and kissed me on the lips. My mind exploded and my tail wagged. When he would surprise me with a kiss like that, it always made me swoon. Our kiss was interrupted with a fake cough. Can you stop sucking each other's faces already? It was Angel. We pulled apart and looked up at Spider Demon as he stood a little way down the hall from us and had both sets of his arms crossed. Angel walked up to us. Alistair, you were supposed to come up here and get hard, not seduce her. I'm afraid that wouldn't happen, my friend, but thanks for the thought. Alistair laughed at him. My apologies for falling behind. Angel rolled his eyes. Whatever. Will you just bring it downstairs already? We're waiting. You guys are waiting for me? For what? It's a surprise, Angel whispered. Well, let's go, I said, and then quickly started down the hallway. The two demons walked behind me. I then heard Angel talk to Alistair. Hey, Al, can I get a kiss like that? The spider demon asked seductively. Alistair gave a quick laugh. Only in your dreams. I then had a thought. I turned around to face them, walking backwards now. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I winked. Alistair froze a moment. What? Angel stopped after I said that. You're shitting me, right? I stopped as well and gave a chuckle. No. I like watching you in your movies, Angel. So a kiss would be nothing for you. Well, yeah. So you're giving me permission to kiss him? Angel asked, pointing at himself and Alistair at the same time. Yeah, I giggled. Alistair was silent. I could see he was not sure. Al, just this once. It won't be bad, please, for me, I begged. Alistair gave a sigh and pinched his nose a moment in annoyance. One, he said sternly. Only because it's for you. That's all I ask, I said to him with a smile. This doesn't leave this hallway, Alistair warned both me and Angel. I promise. I put my hand up. Yeah, whatever, I promise, Angel said. All right. Let's see it then. I leaned against the wall. Angel took no time and grabbed Alistair by his jacket. I'm ready for my kiss, big boy, he said seductively. Alistair seemed lost at first, but then seemed to play along as he wrapped his arms around Angel. Only if you call me Daddy, he said seductively as well. Angel threw his arm upon his forehead for a dramatic effect. Oh, Daddy, please kiss me, Angel pleaded. To my surprise, Alistair leaned down and kissed Angel. They stayed like that a few moments, and then they pulled apart from each other. Angel was surprised and looked lost in a daze for a moment. Alistair went and looked like he was a little uncomfortable. I literally thought I was going to faint. That was so fucking sexy. I honestly couldn't handle it. I think my nose was starting to bleed. I put my hand up to my nose and pulled it away. Yep, definitely bleeding. That was all too sexy for me to handle. You ain't that bad of a kisser, Al. I see why she likes it so much, Angel said with a grin. Alistair pushed the spider demon away from him and fixed his clothes. Angel fixed his chest fluff by puffing it up. Alistair cleared his throat. This never happened. I did this for her, and that was all that needs to be known. No worries, my lips are sealed, Angel said as he did a zippering motion with his fingers to his lips. Good, because if it doesn't... Alistair started to distort the world around him. Angel held his hands up in the fence. Okay, I get it. Alistair went back to normal and looked at me. Darling, are you all right? He asked, concerned. I'm fine, I answered quickly. That was just too sexy for me to handle. Alistair chuckled. Don't get used to it. I know. I wouldn't ask it again. I only needed it that one time. I'm satisfied, I told him. Alistair nodded. Now, let's head downstairs. Oh yeah, I forgot everyone was waiting down there for us, Angel said. We all started to walk again. We put all of what happened in the hallway behind us. My nose was still bleeding, but not as bad. I think it could be an excuse for me being late. We got to the end of the hallway and to the top of the steps. I saw everyone at the bottom, in the lobby. Charlie, Vaggie, Nifty, and Husk. Lizzie was even there, plus some other guests. As soon as I saw them, they all threw their arms up and said, Happy 1-year anniversary, Heart. I was surprised. I was not expecting that at all. I walked down the steps and stood at the last few. What's all this for? I asked with a smile. I felt tears forming in the corner of my eyes. Charlie walked up to me. We wanted to have a little celebration for you for your 1 year here at the hotel. Especially since you have been such a big help as well, she told me with a smile. I walked down to her and gave her a small hug. Thank you, Charlie. That means a lot, I said and tried to hold the tears back. She pulled away from my hug. Well, it was mainly Alistair's idea as much as it was mine, Charlie admitted to me. I looked back behind me and up at Alistair, who stood at the top of the stairs with Angel, and he just looked at me with a small smile. I just gave him a soft smile back. I looked at Charlie. Well, let's get this party started, I cheered. Everyone cheered, and I heard Alistair snap his fingers. His shadow friends came around and started to play music, and the lights dimmed a little in the hallway. The music was almost like a live band, and they played something that you could really dance to. As everyone started to dance, I walked up to Lizzie and gave her a hug. It's good to see you, sister. Thanks for coming, she pulled out of my hug. I was happy to. Plus, there was no way I was missing a party, she said with a small laugh. I laughed as well. That doesn't surprise me that you came here just to party. No, I came here to see you. There just so happens to be a party, she said with a smirk. I giggled. I love you, Lizzie. She punched me in the arm lightly and playfully. And I love you, big sis. Let's go have some fun. Now you're talking. Lizzie grabbed my hand and pulled me over to the others dancing. As I danced with Lizzie, I noticed that Alistair just stayed at the top of the stairs, like he was just watching over everyone, observing. He probably wanted to make sure it was all safe. I looked away and just kept dancing. The day seemed to go by. Charlie made sure that the drinking was to a minimum, so no one was crazy wasted. The hotel still wanted to keep their credibility, after all. I was surprised when they threw the cell at me. I feel it was a little much, but at the same time, I knew they did it because they truly did care about me. It was amazing that in a year that I made such amazing friends, in hell of all places. It was hard for me to believe. After a few songs, I was just sitting at the bar. I figured I could take my one drink and be done. While I sat there, I felt the static in the air hit me. Then before I knew it, I felt arms wrap around me from behind. I calmed and melted into the embrace. I knew it was Alistair. Having fun, my dear? Alistair asked into my ear. I turned my head slightly and looked back at him. I'm having a wonderful time. Thanks, Al. It was my pleasure. He unwrapped his arms and stood next to me. Mind if I join you? Gesturing to the bar stool next to me on the left. Not at all, I answered with a smile. Alistair then sat down and had his body turned to me. I turned and faced him. I leaned forward and placed a kiss on his cheek. Everything is always better with you around, I told him with a smile. I heard someone walk up behind me. Barf! Can you not? I looked over and saw Lizzie with a drink in her hand. Hi, Lizzie. I always knew you were a hopeless romantic, sister, but actually seeing it... She gave a fake gag. I laughed at her. Oh, please. I remember how you were when you dated Victor, I said, raising my eyebrows. She pointed a clawed finger at me. Don't bring up Victor, she warned. All right, I'm sorry. I know you still miss him. I apologized. Lizzie sighed and sat down at the bar stool on the other side of me. I still miss him. He was an idiot, though. Drunk, stupid ass. Going out on the extermination day. I placed my hand on her shoulder. Lizzie, I told you not to beat yourself up for that. I remember you did all you could to keep him safe inside. Lizzie said nothing and just nodded. I loved him so much. Lizzie, I'm sorry for bringing him back up. I honestly forgot that you still hurt from it. I told her sadly. It's okay. I know. I just never found anyone as amazing as Victor was. She looked at me. Don't take this the wrong way, Hart. I'm actually jealous of you. Jealous? I was wondering why she thought that. You have someone who loves you. Someone who has their head in the right place, for the most part. Plus, on top of everything, he's a demon overlord. Can't get more powerful and scarier than that. So at least you have someone to look out for you. I then saw her smile and let out a small chuckle. You definitely need it. Hey now, that's a low blow. And hit her on the arm playfully. Victor wasn't like that. He drank too much for his own good. So he was an idiot. I still loved him though. He looked out for me, but not the way Alistair does for you. You have someone good there, sister. Don't let it slip. She finished her drink and put it on the bar. Besides, this is probably the happiest I've seen you in years. Lizzie stood up from the bar and pulled out a cigarette. I'll see you later. Charlie told me no smoking inside, especially after the last time. Lizzie turned and walked away so fast that I didn't even get a chance to say anything. I sighed and turned back in the bar stool. I put a hand to my head. I felt bad now bringing up my sister's dead boyfriend. I should have known better. I felt a hand cover mine on top of the bar, and then remembered what Alistair was still sitting next to me. I looked up to see his clawed hand covering mine. I looked over to him. Sorry about all that. I took her to a dark place, but it was on accident, I told him. It's okay. Mind telling me about this Victor fella? He asked. I sighed. It's probably been about 20 years now since he died. Victor was another wolf demon that was Lizzie's boyfriend. They dated for a long time. 10 years. The longest guy she's ever been with. I took a pause. It was an extermination day. Lizzie had Victor over, so we tried our best to keep him inside. But while we all slept, he snuck out. He was drunk and he was stupid when he was. Rebellious. Kept saying how he could fight off an angel. Unfortunately, when we went out to go look for him, we found him dead not far away on a sidewalk. Lizzie was heartbroken. She blamed herself. I took a sip of my drink. She hasn't dated anyone since. She hates love now. She doesn't want to get mixed into it again. Having her heart played with, but gets jealous when she sees it. Deep down, I know she wants to date again, but her pain haunts her. I sighed. I love my sister, so I try and look out for her the best I can, because she was never the same after that day. I downed the last of my drink. Alistair was silent at first. That's terrible to hear. It's in the past. I let it go, but she hasn't. I'm hoping she'll come around. One day, I hoped. The days seemed to go by, and by the time 6 hit, the party was slowing down and started to disperse. It was such a fun time, and I talked to almost everyone. I was still shy about all of it, but I still enjoyed myself. Everyone helped clean up the place, and in no time, it was all clean. Lizzie stayed and helped as well. Lizzie had to go, and I was at the door hugging her goodbye. I'll see you later. Be careful going home. Lizzie got out of my hug. Don't worry, I'll be fine. You'll be over this weekend, right? She asked me to make sure. Lizzie and I decided to have a sleepover at my old place. Well, I guess you can call it her place now. So I agreed to stay the weekend with permission from Charlie. Yeah, I'll be over around noon Saturday, I told her. Awesome. See you around. Lizzie said, and she turned and walked up the street. I closed the door and gave a yawn. I turned around to see Alistair there. Looks like some wolf is tired, Alistair said. Oh, definitely. I'm probably going to head to bed, I told him. He held his hand out to me. Well, let me take you to your room, dear. I took his hand. Thanks, Al. We walked to the steps. I waved and said goodbye to everyone. Alistair walked with me to my room, and I locked the door. I turned around to face the deer demon. Thanks for the little party today. I really had fun, I said to him. He grabbed my hand and then kissed the top of it. I wanted to show that you made a big impact here at the hotel. You are amazing. He let go of my hand. I blushed. Oh, stop. I don't need that much credit. I rubbed the back of my head. You'll get it from me because you're amazing, in my opinion, Alistair said to me softly. I blushed more. My face felt hot. Oh, Al, stop. You really know how to make me blush. Alistair laughed. I do, and I love it. He took another hand and cupped my cheek. I love everything about you, my little wolf. I couldn't help it with his words. I let out a small laugh and a big smile. My tail wagged happily. I knew he'd love to see people smile, so I knew he would enjoy that from me. He made my heart beat so fast and made me feel so light. I almost felt like my wings would lift me off the ground without me knowing. And I love you, my great buck, I whispered to him. I put my hands on his chest and gently gripped his jacket. I pulled him closer to me and looked up at him lovingly. I leaned up and kissed him. He graciously kissed me back. He took his arms and wrapped them around me. I loosened my grip on his jacket and just had my hands lay on his chest. I would never get enough of this. What he did next, I wasn't expecting. He pushed me up against the wall next to my door, still kissing me, and decided to make the kiss deeper. I let him enter and let him explore. He took his hands and traveled them up my body and down my arms, and then back up again. He was going to get me excited. He probably didn't even know what he was doing to me. Although he was getting into it because he wasn't paying attention to his sharp teeth, though, because he ended up scratching my lip. He left a gash and blood fell from my lip. I pushed him away, not out of anger, but because it hurt. Ouch! I yelled and put a hand in my mouth to catch the blood. I looked up at Alistair and blood fell from his lips and covered his chin. His eyes didn't seem normal. They were almost a dark crimson and looked like he had lost in a trance as he watched the blood drip to the floor. He took his finger and touched his lip to look at the blood, but then he licked it. This was something I didn't want to see or experience. Alistair wasn't himself, it seemed. What was wrong with him? Alistair looked up at me and seemed to snap back into reality as he looked at my frightened face and realized what he did. My dear, I'm sorry, But I cut him off. Be more careful when you kiss me like that. I don't know what I just saw from you, but it scared me. You actually scared me just now. I tried my best to talk with how my lip was. What the hell's wrong with you? I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to bed. Alistair reached a hand to me. Do you want me to help you? No, I said quickly. I then saw the hurt in his eyes. No, thank you. I can do it myself, I told him. I'll see you tomorrow. I quickly went into my room and closed the door behind me, making sure it was locked. I went to the bathroom and tried my best to stop the bleeding of my lip. When I got to slow it down, I saw there was 2 small slashes on my bottom lip. They weren't that deep, so I didn't need stitches, but I would have to keep my eye on them. I wasn't sure what to do, so I put some ointment on and took a piece of gauze and taped it to my face to hold it there. It was just for tonight, so it didn't bleed all over my bed. I knew it would heal fast, so I didn't have to worry. I knew Alistair didn't mean to hurt me. He just wasn't careful when he started to make the kiss more hot. I didn't know what he was doing, but it was amazing. He honestly didn't realize what he was doing to me. Unless he did, but just wasn't aware. I sighed and got into bed. I was scared of him in that state of his. What was up with that? I didn't understand. It's like he was being controlled by something else, or just some kind of other force was taking over him. Was it something he never told me? Something he kept hidden? If so, he probably would have to tell me now. After what I just saw, I was afraid to kiss him again. I started to cry a little. Tears escaped my eyes and rolled down my cheeks. This day was so good, but it ended on a bad note. I felt bad leaving Alistair in the hallway like that and rushing in, but I couldn't help it. He scared me. He hurt me, but I knew it wasn't on purpose. I needed to be away from him. Maybe I should head to Lizzie's tomorrow instead of Saturday night, since tomorrow was Friday. An extra day over there wouldn't hurt. Get away from Alistair for a little bit. I knew that wasn't the best way to handle things right now, but I honestly didn't feel safe. More tears fell, but I tried to wipe them away as best I could. I picked up my phone and called Lizzie. After the 3rd ring, she picked up. Hello? I heard Lizzie answer. Lizzie, it's Hart, I answered back. Hart? What's up? What's the matter? I knew you'd call me, but if something was important. I took a pause. Lizzie, can I come over tomorrow instead of Saturday now? Tomorrow? Well, sure, I guess. This place isn't clean, but I can try before you get here. Can you come to the hotel and walk with me? I asked her. I thought Alistair was going to walk with you. I changed my mind, I said quickly. There was a long pause on her end. Heart, did something happen? I sighed. Maybe. You want to talk about it? Not right now. I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay? Fair enough. I'll try and be there before noon, okay? Thanks, Lizzie. No problem. See you tomorrow, then. We both hung up. I looked down at my phone. My lock screen was Alistair. I never told him I did it. I would take pictures of him without him knowing, especially in the kitchen, because he always focused on the food. This one on my screen was of him when he was stirring food. He was slightly turned to me, but his eyes were cast down at the pot in front of him on the stove. His face was just so calm. He was just so handsome. Tears fell down my face again. They landed on my phone. I put my phone on a table beside my bed and tried to stop my crying. Tomorrow will be better. That's all I had to think. I know it will. I try my best to fall asleep and hopefully not be haunted by dreams that night. End of chapter 10. Ooh, this chapter was good. In a way, I guess. Just some crazy stuff happening, you know. That last part was just kind of thought up as it leads into what's going to be happening next, into the next few chapters. So, better be ready. With that, I'll see you next time.